Now this is a very special episode. It was inspired by a really interesting discussion on my Facebook page about argan oil. The discussion was about why there's so much hype about this ingredient. What is so different about argan oil to prompt some marketers to deem it a miracle oil? Is this just marketing hype, or is argan oil really different? So I decided to do an episode, not about argan oil, but about cosmetic vegetable oils in general, since argan oil is considered to be a vegetable oil. So this entire special episode will focus on providing a deeper understanding of the vegetable oils used in cosmetics. Botanists, they're plant scientists, and they define fruits and vegetables like this. A fruit, that's the seed-bearing part of a plant. And the vegetables are all the other parts, such as the seeds themselves, the roots, the leaves, the bark, the stem, etc. Now scientists use, in cosmetic industry, we use a broader definition. Cosmetic vegetable oils can be extracted from any part of the plant, and they're considered to be vegetable oils regardless of the part of the plant which is used. Examples of vegetable oils extracted from fruits are olive oil, avocado oil, and palm oil. Some examples of oils extracted from nuts would be almond oil, macadamia nut oil, and coconut oil. While many oils are extracted from seeds, such as canola, grapeseed, palm kernel oil, and argan oil. These oils have important physical properties that determine their usefulness in cosmetics. For example, the melting or solidification temperature, their evaporation rate, their color, odor, the viscosity or the thickness, shelf life stability, solubility, and the oil's ability to penetrate into nails, hair, or skin. These properties are all determined by the main components of the oil. Now, most vegetable oils are practically non-evaporating liquids, while some are semi-solids. Vegetable oils are usually in a liquid state at room temperature, but they may begin to solidify or become very cloudy when they're cooled below room temperature. Now, those that remain solid at room temperature, they're referred to as vegetable fats or vegetable waxes. Now, these aren't the subject of this episode. I'm only discussing the vegetable oils. Some vegetable oils are said to be volatile, which just means that they evaporate very quickly. These are often called essential oils because they contain the essence or the fragrance of the plant. Now, these are removed from vegetable oils and sold separately. Essential oils are not the subject of this episode, although I have discussed them in previous episodes you might want to go back and take a look at. Now, there's a lot that can be said, but so that you can better understand cosmetic vegetable oils, I'll share some general rules of thumb that can guide your understanding and in future investigations. For instance, it's really important to understand that when our noses smell essential oil vapors, we're inhaling a small sampling of the millions of essential oil molecules that are floating in the air. A good rule to remember is this. In general, the smaller a molecule, the more easily it can evaporate. How do scientists know the size of a molecule? Well, we look at its molecular weight. When it comes to many things, including vegetable oils, the lower the molecular weight, the smaller the molecule, the more easily it can evaporate. Therefore, molecular weight is a very good indication of the rate of evaporation. Also, smaller molecules can penetrate more easily, especially through nails, the nail plate, skin, or hair. But it would be overly simplistic to think about just the size of a molecule. The shape can have an even greater influence than size can. Molecules with a bulky shape are blocked from penetrating these surfaces. However, molecules with a similar composition but a sleeker shape can pass by the surface and enter into nails, hair, or skin. Now, as I mentioned before, the essential oils are removed from vegetable oils, which helps explain why cosmetic vegetable oils have very little odor at all. Some describe them as slightly lard-like. Olive oil or safflower oil are good examples of a typical odor of a vegetable oil. Now, a lot of people will tell me they love the smell of jojoba or argan oil or sweet almond oil. No, they don't. When a vegetable oil smells great, it's because essential oils and or synthetic fragrances have been added back into the oil. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There are some awesome products that do this. But the users actually love the product's overall formulation and added fragrance, and not the specific oil. Its odor is probably pretty boring. So why are these vegetable oils useful in cosmetics? I've asked over 100 people the same question, and their answers were pretty similar. I usually hear that an oil softens, conditions, moisturizes, hydrates, repairs, and heals. Softens and conditions. That's certainly correct, and that's a major benefit. Moisturize and hydrate is misunderstood, but it's sort of correct. Vegetable oils only slow down the rate of water evaporation from skin or nails. These oils contain no moisture, so they can't hydrate, but instead they slow evaporation, so water molecules become more concentrated in the skin. Repairs? That's pretty unlikely. I don't see how any vegetable oil is capable of repairing damaged hair, nails, or skin. So I would call this a false claim. That's just not what they do. These oils can hide surface damage, but they cannot repair the damage, nor can they repair split ends. When the oil wears off or is washed off, the damage remains. However, these oils can help prevent existing damage from worsening, and they can increase resistance to future damage. So that's a pretty good benefit. Heal? What? No way. That's not a proper cosmetic claim, and no one should be making such claims about any cosmetics. No cosmetic can claim to prevent or heal any disease, and this includes infections. Cosmetics don't prevent or treat infections, and they can't make such claims. Not only are such claims false, they're illegal to make. So why are these plant-derived vegetable oils so misunderstood? Now, this is just my view. But I think it's because there's way too much marketing hype around the name of the oil. Little is said about the composition of the oil, and instead the focus is on the oil's name. Think about it. What does the name of a vegetable oil have to do with anything other than for marketing purposes? The name is used as a marketing hook to get consumers interested, so I get it. Many marketers tend to focus on the oils with cool names from exotic locations. That's a lot of fun maybe, but it's really not important to a product's function. Many overpromise what the oils can really do, and some act as if they're almost magical. Now, marketing aside, what are these vegetable oils used for? And why are they used at all? After the essential oils and the vegetable fats and waxes are removed, what's left over are some extremely useful substances called fatty acids. Fatty acid is the name of the chemical family to which these substances belong. Other useful substances are found in these vegetable oils, but at much lower concentrations. But usually the fatty acids make up the vast majority of the components in the vegetable oil. Now, fatty acid is not a particularly nice sounding name, so guess what? It has no marketing value, and you'll never hear about them in an advertisement. No, they're not the same as fat molecules, and they won't burn your skin just because acid is in the name. Some fatty acids are exquisite for skin and nails and hair because they can penetrate these surfaces and they just don't remain sitting on the top. They are just the right size and shape so they can penetrate more easily. But they don't go through hair, nails, and skin. Instead, they concentrate inside them to provide conditioning benefits. Fatty acids are naturally occurring chemicals found in both plants and animals, but cosmetic fatty acids mostly come from plants. About a dozen types of fatty acids are found in cosmetic vegetable oils. Plants absorb nutrients through their roots, and they turn these nutrients into many things, including fatty acids. Fatty acids have been used since ancient times to make soaps and other useful substances. Fatty acids are the real ingredients being added to cosmetics whenever vegetable oils are being used. Some vegetable oils contain low levels of other substances that are also useful, such as vitamin E. Wheat germ oil, for example, is one of the richest sources of natural vitamin E. But even so, the amount of vitamin E is very small when compared to the amount of fatty acids. Fatty acids are the vast majority of the oil, so they have the greatest impact when added to the cosmetic product. Fatty acids coexist as a blend, and they're chiefly responsible for most of the physical properties of a vegetable oil. For example, the temperature at which canola oil will melt, freeze, or smoke when heated is determined by the 4 fatty acids that make up 95% of the oil. Sweet almond oil will have very similar properties because it contains a very similar fatty acid profile, or list of fatty acids found in the oil, I should say. And you'll see this when you look at the table that I'll include at the end of this episode. This table lists the percentage of important fatty acids for 18 commonly used vegetable oils, most of which are widely used in cosmetics. Sweet almond oil is more stable and resistant to becoming rancid when compared to canola oil due to the fatty acid called linolenic acid, the first fatty acid listed on the table. This particular fatty acid is not very stable, and it will react with oxygen in the air to become rancid smelling and look darker, which makes the oil pretty much unusable. So it's pretty easy to look at this table at the end of the chapter and episode and tell which of these oils are most likely to go rancid. The answer would be flaxseed oil, since it contains between 35 to 60% linolenic acid, while sweet almond oil has less than 0.5%. Flaxseed is so unstable that it's not useful in cosmetics, even though it has a great fatty acid profile. So high amounts of linolenic acid in vegetable oils is undesirable. Even though wheat germ oil has 9% of this fatty acid, it also has a naturally high vitamin E content. Vitamin E's chemical name is tocopherol, and it helps to prevent vegetable oils from going rancid, which is why it's often added to formulations that use vegetable oils. Now, there are about 12 types of fatty acids that can be found in the various cosmetic vegetable oils. Only 9 of these types are found in significant amounts. Of these, just 7 types of fatty acids are considered to be the most important cosmetic ingredients in these oils. These 7 are listed in the chart or the table at the end of this episode. These 7 work together to determine the physical properties of the vegetable oil. Not all vegetable oils have all 7 types of fatty acids. Most have 4 or 5. So the main difference between the various cosmetic vegetable oils are the type of fatty acids they contain and their concentration. Most oils are a blend of 4 or 5 different types of fatty acids, as the table will show you. Now, I know some of you will want to delve a lot deeper into this interesting topic. So feel free to make a copy of this table and re-watch this episode to make some notes. From this table, you will learn many things about vegetable oils, because it shows the percentage and type of the most important fatty acids found in each oil. For instance, olive oil and palm oil have very similar compositions, even though they come from very different plants. Both olive oil and palm oil are chiefly composed of 3 fatty acids: oleic acid, linoleic acid, and palmitic acid. Some vegetable oils contain only 3 or 4 types of fatty acids, while others contain up to 8. Some fatty acids only occur in certain types of oil. Lauric acid is a great example. This highly useful fatty acid is found only in a few types of vegetable oils, namely coconut oil and babusu oil and palm kernel oil. Each of these are about 50% lauric acid and are among the richest sources in nature. So why is lauric acid so special? Its molecule is a great size and shape for penetration. Now, This is actually true for all the fatty acids shown on the chart. They are all long, snake-like molecules that are wonderfully designed to penetrate, as you can see by this image. This image is a representation of a lauric acid molecule. The backbone of the lauric acid chain is 12 carbon permanently linked together. They're shown as black spheres that are connected together. This is the molecule's backbone. It's called a carbon backbone. Now, I chose this particular representation because it shows the shape of a lauric acid molecule, and we're interested in its shape. All of the fatty acids in vegetable oils have a similar snake-like structure. Now, along with lauric acid, these three oils also contain between 4 and 9% of even shorter chain fatty acids, as few as 8 carbon chains long. They're called capric and caprylic acids. These three ingredients, including lauric acid, penetrate deeply into a shaft of hair, which is why coconut oil is often used to deeply condition hair. Most vegetable oils have longer carbon chains, and some aren't straight, and they may have a kink or two in their chains. Now, this doesn't stop them from slowly penetrating. They can still probably do so even with chain links up to 20 carbons long, and this is because of the molecule's shape. Of course, those with 20 carbons don't penetrate as quickly as those with 8 or 12 carbons in their chain. And kinks in the chain can slow penetration down a little as well. For example, oleic acid is a bit longer than lauric acid, and it has a permanent kink right in the middle of the chain, so it can't penetrate as quickly as lauric acid can. Now, other types of molecules this big usually have branches and bulky shapes, so they can't penetrate the skin or hair or nails. They'll just sit on the surface. The fatty acids listed in the table at the end of this episode contain between 12 and 18 carbons, and they're considered to have medium chain lengths. They're some of the most useful cosmetics ingredients in cosmetics. So, which fatty acids are best for nails, hair, and skin? That's not so easy to answer. Lauric acid is a better penetrator, but that doesn't mean that products with coconut oil are the best. This will depend on how well the oil-containing product was formulated, as well as the quality of the ingredients. So, just because a product contains argan oil doesn't mean that it's good or a useful product. That depends on how well the product is designed. For instance, argan oil only works as a hair shine product when it's mixed with large amounts of cyclomethicone and or dimethicone or similar ingredients. These two ingredients just sit on the surface of the hair and create shine, while the natural oils absorb in to condition the hair. The best nail oils are a synergistic blend of several oils, which provide a spectrum of medium chain length fatty acids, as well as other ingredients that are blended in. Avocado oil is a popular nail oil ingredient, and it has high amounts of oleic acid and palmitic acid. Both have great conditioning benefits. Now, avocado oil is usually combined with other vegetable oils with penetrating ability. Now, I'm not going to talk about jojoba oil. It's also used in nail products, but it's a different kind of oil with mostly different components, so I'll have to leave that one for another episode. But if you're curious about any vegetable oil, type in the oil's name into your computer search engine, followed by the phrase fatty acid composition, and you'll find your answer. A good vegetable oil that contains a large amounts of these fatty acids will likely be highly beneficial when used in a well-formulated product. These oils are important, but by themselves, they aren't all that. So don't be fooled. If you try to rub argan oil or any other vegetable oil in your hair, you won't like the results. Your hair will be an oily, goopy mess that would need several washes to get clean. A vegetable oil is just one of the ingredients in the formula, and all the ingredients work together to create a great product. So you can't just buy some oil from the market and expect to get anywhere near the same benefits that you would derive from a well-designed cosmetic product. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this special episode of Face to Face with Doug Schoon, and I'll see you next time.